computer's empty and I want to go. I also have to pee, so I'll make this quick. Oh, I can't because there's a freaking timer on this thing. Hi, my name's Jorn. This was supposed to be the slide where I tell you who I am so you take me seriously or not seriously. I've been in the IT industry for many, many years. I know a little bit about a lot and a lot about nothing. That's an Olympus OMD EM5 camera on the side. My wife likes to take pictures, and it's a really good camera, and she never ever uses it. That's also a snowblower I bought. It's got an electric start because I thought that would make her happy as well. It didn't work. Anyway, this is a talk that's normally 40 minutes long. People seem to like it, but it's only been 5 minutes long for you. And so I want to talk a little history, a little observation, a little bit of a therapy session, right? My background, I've got my undergrad degree was in applied psychology, so a little therapy for me, not you. You're giving me therapy. Along came the entire DevOps, and we read all the books. Everybody's read all these books in the room. Yes, yes, sure you have, right? We all know the names of these people. And what happened was, we found this whole thing, we're talking about even, Dr. Deming up in the corner, like, we want to do this whole DevOps practice thing. We want to put it together. And then we found out DevOps was cool. Companies have DevOps. We read all the books. And then we found out what tools they were using, like Kubernetes. Let's use Kubernetes because that will make us a DevOps shop. Not that any of you guys work for a company that does that, but there are companies that do. Your government doesn't. Yes, it does. And so I started talking about security. Some of these, I just switched topics on you, right? So let's say there's a couple of services that love each other very much. We want to secure them. They talk on the network, and we put them together, and we want to put some security around them. And so what we do is we look for all the bad things in the world, and we block them all out. But there's also another side of security where we learn what an application does, we develop a fingerprint around it, and then we put that together, and we actually call that zero trust networking, some buzzwords for you, right? And we've been doing this for many, many years. I think it's a little bit better way to do security, not just looking for CVEs or malware at the edge, right? Well, of course we're going to do that. We've been doing it for 40 years. Why wouldn't we do it in Kubernetes? Because that's how we're supposed to do security, right? Defense in depth, we've got 8 layers of security. Well, one of the problems inside of Kubernetes, one of the problems inside of any sort of cloud-based security is a lot of times we can't actually see the network, right? We can put IP tables together, we can do monitoring at the other end, but I can't do what I could do with my VMs and my traditional network and see inside of it. So we had this particular goal that we're reaching for, right? We're going to wrap zero trust around all these things, automate all that stuff, see the entire network up through the entire OSI model. We're going to put the application together and make sure that we understand that. Good security. But let's go back to what's wrong, right? There was actually, you might remember in 1980, for those of us who are older, there was Japan can do it, why can't we? Dr. Deming went over to Japan to help the Toyota and Nissan and Mazda get together and try to improve their processes. And they did a process. They had the big 3 automakers toured the plant, and they didn't believe what Japan was showing them. They didn't believe Toyota. And in fact, because you can see from this very quote here, the CEO of, was it GM at the time, realized they had spent more money trying to copy Toyota than they would have spent buying Toyota and Mazda together, and they only raised by 1 percentage point. So what did they learn, right? They came back from the World War II, which the women won World War II because they outproduced, because they had CI/CD processes that we've all known about, and they thought that, well, developers didn't care about security, right? We keep shifting left. We were in a talk today where I said I hate that phrase, shift left, because I don't want to shift things left. I don't want to give operations off to the developers. We're all supposed to talk and communicate together. So the moral of the story, as we get to, I got 3 things. Oh, good, you got my cultural references. Thank you. That's very, very dark, right? The reason I drew this slide was like, okay, I think what I want to do is treat things like, where is my data center? What am I trying to do? It's on Orion's belt. Thank you for laughing at those old cultural references. And so what I see happening inside of organizations is that everybody's got these ITIL processes. They do everything right. I'm a developer. I ask for five VMs. I'm like, yay, and it's all checked into operations. And then I go to my CISO, my CTO, my operations people, like, hey, did you know there's a crap load of stuff running in production on that Kubernetes cluster that somebody built on those VMs? And there's like, I don't know, who's doing security there? And I also thought, and I found it wasn't true, I declared that Kubernetes clusters are a data center and a data center. They got a wall around them. I thought people would want to fight me. Everyone went, yeah, that's true. We haven't thought about it that way. We should try securing them that way. And so back to systems thing, we learned a little bit earlier, and Deming said this too, a bad system will beat a good person every single time. We already had that talk, so I don't have to spend a lot of time on this particular slide. Survival is not mandatory. Back to my opening slides. My wife never used that camera. She wanted to take good outdoor photography. I'm like, you know what, why don't I just get you a good phone? It's with you. It's the best camera you have, is the one that you have with you, which is a quote that Steve Jobs used to market the iPhone, which was a good one. And she never did use the snowblower because the electric start wasn't the problem, it was using the snowblower. So everything, she just didn't want to do it. So I have my neighbors blow the yard and the snowblower just sits there when I'm gone. My big message to you, and we've learned it from here in this conference, I don't have to teach most of you people here, you need to teach your managers this. talk, communicate. Don't work for your tools. Your tools should work for you. That was the whole moral.
Mm.